I have been prostituting to fend for my husband's marriage. Story time. Let me preface by saying that my story is one weird one, but they say a problem shared is a problem solved, so I'm hoping this will give me some solutions.
So share it on TikTok to millions of people so they can see everything.
Anyway, my husband and I met when I was in uni and he was working. I attended uni in the capital city, but originally I come from a very small town outside the capital city, so I was just in the capital city purely for education. I come from a household where I was raised by my aunt, who's also my mom's sister. And you know how things can be sometimes being raised by people who are not your own parents. I just never felt the love at home. So by the time that I had graduated, my husband, who we'll call Zach, and I had been very, very serious. At this point, we had been together for more than 3 years. So we decided that instead of me going back home, where I didn't feel loved, maybe I might just move in with him. I moved in with my husband, who
Okay.
we'll call Zach, and honestly, that was the best decision ever. I felt so much at peace. And also, if you've been to uni, you know the freedom of living alone. You don't want to go back home. So it just felt like from uni, I had my own home. Also, the fact that I was raised by my aunt who didn't really care much about me, even when I didn't come back home, I was never asked and no one ever really checked up on me. So all I'm trying to say is it was very easy moving in with Zach. I had all my reasons and I felt they made so much sense to me. But even though my aunt didn't really show me much love, let me mention that she is the reason that I ended up studying in uni, because she had some connections, and through her connections I was able to get a scholarship. Anyway, moving
The makeup is pretty clear, bro.
forward to when Zach and I started to live together. If you remember, I mentioned that Zach was working. Let me also mention here that Zach was working, but his job was not really paying much. So once we started to live together, it was automatic that I also needed to supplement some of the things at home. Before I moved in, he was very open enough to tell me that he cannot afford both of us, so we might have to do 50-50 when it comes to finances and everything else. And to be honest, as long as it involved me and Zach living together, I was willing to sacrifice any and everything.
True
But
love.
for me, the problem started that I had just recently graduated, and in this economy, it's not very easy getting a job. So it took me some good time before I could financially help the both of us. But the method that
Yeah, I know, right? Getting a job in this economy in Zambia is wild.
I chose for help was what was diabolical. The fact that I was not working, it meant that I needed to find something to do, and that something was not coming quick. And I was putting Zach under so much pressure because I would hear him complain about things were too much for him, his job was not paying him much. And one day he brought a very weird suggestion. Thinking of his suggestion now is stomach churning, but then I just thought, you know what, he's just trying to help the both of us. So Zach's suggestion was he had a friend who was pretty wealthy and was looking for a girl because he was just bored. Nothing too serious. He told me maybe I could start going out with his friend while keeping our relationship very serious as well.
What? What is that doing? What happened to business? What happened setting fritters, setting foods? I'll punch Zach in the face right now.
That is the relationship that I have with Zach. I should just help his friend pass time and just do whatever I had to do with his friend.
And first of all, why are you agreeing to this idea? Oh, I haven't gotten that part, but are you agreeing to this idea?
So that he wouldn't be bored anymore. Apparently, this man was willing to pay money as long as he had someone to spend his time and money with. So Zach said this was a good deal. In case you're wondering, yes, Zach's friend knew that I was very much with his friend. But honestly, Zach's friend, who we called John, said he doesn't care
That is just evil, if I can call it.
as long as I did what I needed to do with him, and when it was time for Zach, it was time for Zach. As long as I could separate the two roles, he was okay with it. Honestly, this was a very tough deal for me to take, but once Zach told me this would be a one-time thing, once I got the money, I could start a business, we wouldn't have to do it again, I was comfortable enough. But if you've ever felt how sweet it is to earn money without working so hard, you know that that can be a very addictive and continuous behavior. So once I was done with John introduced me to someone else who needed the same services, and before I knew it, I was the girl that these wealthy, lonely men would hang out with and pay for hanging out. And in case you're wondering, it was all types of hanging out, that inclusive. By the time I was in so deep, on some days I would wonder how we got here, but the money was so good. So every time I would start to wonder and feel bad about it, I would snap out of it because the money was good and Zach and I were finally living at least a decent life.
Can't believe you two brains decided to do this. Ah man, there's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot going on in the world.
In mind that at this time also Zach had quit his job because the money that I was making from spending time with these lonely men was quite a bit that Zach no longer needed his job. And that was mistake number one, because what do you mean you're the man of this house and you feel you no longer need a job? Anyway, before I knew it, these men became international. I was flying on international flights to go out with other men from other countries, and the money had gotten so good. Zach's life and I had changed drastically. I started to go to Dubai, and if you know the documentaries, I would do such things. Everything that it took for these men to give me the money, I would do it because I was already there. They had flown me in. It's like you're left with no option but to just do whatever these rich men want you to do. At this time, Zach's relationship and I was still...
I think Zach did not love you. Zach was using you as a tool to make more money. No, he was using you as a tool for survival. Immediately, bro makes his bag, he is leaving you, man. Who want to share their woman with other men? The moment they discover my woman as other men, dipping, bro.
just very much strong. He knew exactly what I was doing. He was supporting it. But as my man, he was very much my man and nothing to complain about. I mean, I was giving him the money that he needed. Now, call me a fool, whatever you'd like to call it, but all the money that I worked for, I would give it to Zach because he promised that he would invest it into other things like properties, would build, and within a few years, I could quit this job and would just live a very sustainable...
I can predict this will end up so bad. This will end up terrible.
And financially sound life because he was investing in things. And I believe that he was, because Zach was this smart guy. I just believed he was investing anyway. And that was another mistake because I believed he was investing, but not even once did I ever see these investments. And at this point, remember, Zach was not working. So every small argument, he took it that I was just looking down on him. So even when he told me there were investments, I never felt the need to ask where they are because I didn't want him to feel like I don't trust him. I also didn't want him to feel like he's not a man enough, considering that I was the one providing all the finances for the home at this point. Now, I'm sure you're wondering at what point Zach and I got married. We actually never did, but at this point we had been staying together for more than 8 years. So it's just like we had just forgotten about that part of life. Honestly, as a female, you know, as you get older, your biological clock is ticking. So I started to tell Zach that I wanted to have kids and probably quit this job because at this point, from the money that I had given him, we should have been well off. And at this point, it should mean that he had invested enough in properties. So even if I were to quit there and then, we would still be okay. So I started to tell Zach,
invested enough in properties. Are you telling me? You know what I've learned? Some men are willing to spend millions for one night. Millions for one night to the lady. This is insane. They're willing to fly you out of the country just to have a good time with you. They're willing to go to that extent. This is insane. And like I can imagine myself doing that. It is insane. I don't know. It is insane. I think there's just some things I can't do, and this is one of the things I can't do. Never.
That it was finally time for me to quit and that we should finally focus on our family. And it was at that point that things started to go south. Let me also mention that after I was with Zach for about 4 years living together, my aunt finally reached out and told me, you know, if you have a man, it's okay that you should come home, let him come home, let him pay so that you could be properly married. She also suggested that this would help me have some sort of stability in this home because she saw the money that we were making. She didn't know I was making the money, but she felt if this marriage with Zach ended, I would go with nothing because we were not legally married. But for me, since this suggestion came from my aunt, I just took it that she just wanted money from Zach because obviously he had to pay my bride price, which was not paid. And
guys, as you can see, I'm below 10,000. Subscribe. I need to get to 10,000, 100,000. I need that plaque. If you're enjoying the video, please subscribe.
I told Zach to shy away from the whole idea. I told him it wasn't necessary, and that was another mistake. I'm sorry, but you have to go to part 2. I have been prostituted.
Damn it, I'm not going to part 2. I know, I'm not going to part 2. Guys, if you're into the channel, subscribe. We'll post great content. I need 100K this year, okay? Trying to improve my videos as much as I can. Thank you so much. Peace.